you doing, my friend?
Hello, fine. It's gonna be better once I'm on that bike. Well, hello there in YouTube land and welcome back to the channel. And today we are at Iron Supply Powersports with our friends are letting us test ride this Street Triple 765R. I wanted to test ride the RS, but they only have one. But I think this will give us a good idea of how this bike handles in its new iteration, 2024. And it is a beautiful bike. It doesn't have the mirrors that the other one has. It doesn't have the dash, less horsepower, different tires, different rake angle. What else? I think the seat is also different, but we'll figure it out. So let's hop on it, see how it's like to ride. All right, so the first Alright, so the first thing is, it is a tall bike. I do feel that I have to tippy-toe, but, well, we'll figure it out. Okay, so, coming down from the Yamaha, I don't know, it feels weird that I cannot put it in gear. Here it is. Alright, so that whirl from the triple engine is lovely. Let's check out the friction zone before we take it out. Alright, so the friction zone is a little bit different. Oh, and just like all the Triumphs, the brakes have a lot of bite, so we have to be really careful. But the friction zone is, yeah, I don't know if this thing has rider modes, and maybe they put it on rain mode. I hope it does. It's not. But why is this thing? Oh, I didn't ask if it has a quick shifter or not. So we'll pretend it does not have a quick shifter, so that way we don't mess up the transmission. I did not check my mirrors. So one of the things that I love about the RS is the mirrors. These are not that great. Okay, so it's a little bit tall, taller than I would expect. Oh, but it is nimble as hell, man. I love that nimbleness of a Street Triple. So the first thing I noticed is that the exhaust is very quiet, and that the shifter is not as smooth as I would expect from a Triumph. But I've ridden a Street Triple R before. It was the 675, I believe, or maybe it was the first 765 that came out. And what I noticed is that it did not have a lot of power up top. Even though this bike revs a lot before it gives you the power, the way these ones are tuned, the R versions, well, they have plenty of torque, but they don't have enough power up top. Now, we're not going to be able to check that because it's a brand new bike, but so far it's not convincing me to change to trade in my R7, just because of the way it feels. And I do remember that I had the same exact feeling when I rode the R version on that occasion. I don't know, there's something about it, because once you've ridden a Speed Triple, well, I think you're spoiled, and you expect a little bit more from Triumph on everything, right? The plastics, how the controls feel, the brake, but especially things like the shifter. You expect it to be a little bit more premium, and that's something that you don't get in the R version. That's why I wanted to try the RS. Now, it is a beautiful bike and the paint is lovely. And I hope this stop sign ends soon, because it's taking too long. It's taking forever. All right, here it is. Yeah, the friction zone, you have to release the clutch all the way out before it starts moving. Now the seat is nice because it has plenty of room to move around, so you can get on a tuck, like a very sporty position, or you can just relax and sit like this. And I forgot to buckle my helmet again, so let's stop and do that before we continue. One day I will not forget to buckle my helmet. All right, let's stop here. Now, if this bike has rider modes, it's not telling me anywhere on the dash, so I don't think it does. But it does have these controls here. I don't know what they're for. It should have at least traction control. So let's see if we can find it. Yeah, but that whole friction zone not working until the end of the clutch, I don't love it. And why is this thing blinking like it's trying to warn me of something? Maybe because it's a brand new bike, you shouldn't be revving it. But I mean, I'm only doing 4,000 RPM and it starts going like crazy. Alright, so what do these buttons do? I don't know. That's like a clock. 2024, 533. Okay, that's the range, I think. Service interval. Fuel. So the little dash thing is not that bad. I thought it was going to be terrible, but no, it gives you all the information, and it's clear and it's nice looking. Okay, where else do we have? That's the same thing. What is that? I think that's the brightness of the dash. That's like a clock. 2024, 533. Okay, that's the range, I think. Service interval. Fuel. So the little dash thing is not that bad. I thought it was going to be terrible, but no, it gives you all the information, and it's clear and it's nice looking. Okay, where else do we have? That's the same thing. What is that? I think that's the brightness of the dash. Bike, but yeah, and the suspension is very stiff. It's more like a sport bike feeling than a commuter, so I don't know how more of the RS is going to give me. All right, let's go on the freeway for a few miles, and then we'll take this bike back. Yeah, this is a fun bike. Fun bike. I don't know why it keeps flashing like that. I hope I'm not destroying this bike. But anyway, suspension feels pretty stiff. The clutch is soft, although that friction zone, I hate it. And then the quick shifter works like butter. The brakes are pretty good. It has a lot of bite, and it does stop the bike. I'm not gonna try like do an emergency stop or anything, but I mean, you can feel that it has a very good braking system. I love that quick shifter, man. It's just as smooth as maybe the Suzuki. Maybe not as much because the whole gear thing, the gearbox, is not as smooth as the Suzuki, but it's nice. Now, I wouldn't say, well, it's more of a budget bike because this bike costs as much as my Suzuki. So that's where the trouble comes to the paradise. You're comparing this bike to a 1000 cc 4 and that bike is a little bit more premium. But I don't know, I just love the aesthetics of these street triples, and I like the way it handles. I'm pretty sure if we can take it to the twisties, this bike would excel. So I have to do a little bit more research. I mean, because the dash is one of the things that I wanted the RS for, and obviously the power, but I mean, I have plenty of power on Suzuki. I don't need more power. It has more power than the Yamaha. So one of the things I would have to see if I can buy some. I hate that friction zone, man. It just takes forever to engage. So if I can get some clip-ons on this bike. Oh look, this is where Iron Supply is gonna build its new thing. Alright, I have to go back, but I don't know how. I'm a little bit lost now. So I'm just gonna take the turn here at Bucky's and go back, see if I can get on the freeway. Well, I don't need to go on the freeway because this thing is going to be flashing all day, and that's not going to be good. Okay, let's take this turn here. Let's see if we can just check out how it feels in a little bit of a turn. Oh, we're in fourth. We're in third. We're in second now. Oh yeah, I love it. I mean, you can actually put this bike on the side of the tire, no problem, and you're gonna be fine. I mean, I would love to take it on the twisties. Believe you me, this is gonna be an awesome bike to take on. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Triumph Iron Supply. Yeah, if we can take this bike, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be worth trading the Yamaha for this one, but guys, it's a conundrum because it's going to be more expensive. If it were the same price, then I think, yeah, because it's a new bike, I would like to have a new bike. Oh, it turns on a dime so much that you have to be careful, right? Because it's supposedly the other one, the RS, is nimbler than this one. I don't see why you need more nimble than this, because this feels just like a bicycle when you're just turning it. So I really love this bike, guys. Now they also have a Daytona there, but it has 15,000 miles. I don't want to buy a used bike to trade in my used bike, even though it's a better bike. It's going to be more expensive, so no, let's not. Let's try not to get engaged with that. All right. I don't know how to get back to Iron Supply, so these guys are going to have to excuse me. But, okay, let me see if I can get in here now. Yep. All right, how do you go back? How do you go into that bridge? I think you had to go there and then do a U-turn. I don't know. I didn't do that, so that is it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop my recording and put on my GPS and try to listen turn-by-turn navigation to go back, because otherwise I'm going to be lost forever. These guys are going to worry about their bike, and I don't want to really take advantage, put too many miles on this thing. Even though, yeah, you don't want to put a lot of miles because it's an awesome bike. So let's see if we can get out in this exit. Now the upright position on this bike is great for doing this, right? Because on the Yamaha or R7, and I'm pretty sure that the Daytona is going to be the same thing, you're going to be like this and you can't really see the cars. When you're upright like this, you can see the traffic, no problem. And I wish I could give this bike the bean so I can go and do some highway twisty fun, but it's a brand new bike, you can't. Yeah, I'm gonna turn here, and I'm pretty sure there's a way to turn and go back here where the Lowe's is, or the Loves. What is that? I don't know. Well, guys, this bike is great for what it is. I really recommend anybody looking for a naked bike in the mid-weight section to check it out. The competitors for this bike is gonna be the MT-07 or maybe the MT-09, the Duke 890R, or actually the 790. I think will be more, because the RS will be more of the competitor for okay, I'm sorry, but I had to do that. It's just too much fun not to enjoy this bike. So 890, I think the 790 will be more of a competitor for this one, and the RS will be a competitor for the 890 Duke R. So far, I think I had more fun on the 790, but of course, I was doing a twisty road, and that was a broken in bike. I could give it the beans, so it's not going to be fair to this bike to compare it. But I think this bike is nimbler than the 790. I think this bike is nimbler than the R7, even though I think it's heavier, or maybe because I'm more on top of the bike that it feels heavier. But you're gonna say, well, how can it be heavier and nimbler? Well, it feels heavier, but it turns on a dime. I think it's just because of the way you're sitting on the bike, and you have the rake right here, so every time you give it a little bit of input, the bike turns, really quick. So that's one of those things that makes this bike really good and easy to maneuver in traffic. And it is 100 degrees again, and I am sweating bullets. If this traffic is not going to cooperate, I'm going to start filtering on a bike that I do not own, which is something I don't love, filtering on a bike that I'm doing a demo on. Okay, let us move. Yeah, the suspension is pretty stiff and pretty sporty, so I don't know how I don't think the RS would be a better choice for riding on the street. And you can move on the seat from side to side and just man, yeah, I love this bike. For going on the twisties, obviously you're not going to put your elbow down, but who am I kidding? When am I going to put my elbow down? I can't even put my knee down. But on this bike, I think I could practice putting my knee down. It's just the way it handles. So it's gonna have to be one of those things, man. You're gonna have to come up with a great price. Give me enough for my R7 so I can keep my payments the same. I don't think it's gonna happen. So what we can do is discuss maybe how long would it take for me to pay off more of my R7 so I can keep my payments the same and get a bike like this. Because I don't think I need the RS. Well, that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the Street Triple R. I'm gonna go back, try to find my way back to Iron Supply. Remember, if you liked the video, to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with all your friends. If you don't like the video, well, share it with all your enemies. And I'll see you guys on the next one.